here with When Worlds Collide, and look at the beautiful open arena. It is a packed house here for When Worlds Collide.
Now this is what it's like when
And we are not wasting any time. We are taking things to the extreme out gate with a 2 out of 3 tables match. East Rutherford, New Jersey, what's up? Now, D and Trey, give us a little bit of information about this dangerous man from Pro Wrestling Revolution.
Alright, so Dangerous Man has been in wrestling for many years, taking some time off due to some personal reasons, but is back in PWR in the hardcore division where he left off about 10 years ago. So he's 10 years removed from the pro wrestling world, now making it back in with PWR, and definitely plan on being in 2K19 as well. The Dangerous Man's finisher is the Dangerous DDT, as well as the Death Valley Driver and the Guillotine Choke. We'll see if that happens tonight to any other competitor in the ring.
And I gotta say, I'm impressed with the look of this dangerous individual. We will see just how dangerous he is in a room full, a ring full of very dangerous and unique personalities in our opening match. And the lights have dropped. And there's a green hue, and we are looking at Bryan Evans. Tell the Worldwide Wrestling Network a little bit about Bryan Evans, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Bryan Evans is a PWR original, but also a PSW original as well. Definitely a tough competitor in PWR and PSW. The current actual PSW United, well, former actually PSW United States champion, the only man for a long amount of time able to get a victory against Patrick Rage in PWR in a backstage brawl. This man right here, very dangerous, can get wins, a true main eventer in the world of professional wrestling, and definitely a dangerous opponent here tonight in this 2 out of 3 falls tables match.
2 out of 3 falls is the rules, and tables are gonna get broken in our opening match. Evans staring down, and tell us a little bit about Christopher Bryan. Give us the inside scoop.
I'll tell you what, just came into the UWA just a few weeks back. Doesn't really have much of a wrestling background. Is a maximum security prison guard in Ohio, and wanted to come into UWA and see if he could, has what it takes to be able to be the best.
All right, a lot of background, a lot of information. Thank you guys for checking it out, and we are waiting for the 4th competitor to make his way to the ring, and the lights drop. And Christopher Bryan is now waiting for Dake of the Worldwide Wrestling Network, the Wild Thing, the godfather of hardcore, originally making his presence known in Dead or Alive Wrestling, and now a major integral part of the Worldwide Wrestling Network's Brass Knuckles division. Dake is here, and the crowd is loving it. And Ken's penchant for violence is absolutely legendary, as is all three other combatants. This is going to be an incredible four-way 2 out of 3 falls tables match. And each of the competitors warming up, and Dangerous Man using his speed against Bryan Christopher. Technique slipping around, dropping him with the Gutbuster. And it is Evans and Dake Ken early in this match. And wait a minute, Evans dropping Ken with the DDT. And big Christopher Bryan with that power slam. And I know that UWA and PWR share talent. Have there been any interactions with either Bryan Evans or Christopher Bryan or Dangerous Man? Is there any history in that background that we might need to know? Any bad blood?
Well, I wouldn't say any bad blood, but Christopher Bryan and Bryan Evans did just face off last week on Showdown, I believe it was, UWA Showdown, and man, it was a great match. Hardcore, Mr. Hardcore is what we call him over in UWA, and I believe worldwide. Bryan Evans, has had nothing but a great showing, but Christopher Bryan definitely came in and getting his first W in UWA against Bryan Evans. It was a great match.
Well, Evans would want to try to redeem that loss against one Christopher Bryan as the action takes us a little bit further. It is Dangerous Man, and wait a minute, good God! Dangerous Man just caught the edge of that table. I'm surprised the table didn't break catching that corner, but the takedown by Dangerous Man, and the fists are flying, and Dake Ken with the solid elbow to the back of the head of Bryan Evans. Yeah, these four-way matches are always difficult to call because the action can go anywhere, and this making a tables match, it makes it even more difficult to call because you never know when the end's going to come. It basically, that could have been the end right there. Once again, Dangerous Man taken, almost put through the table, hitting the edge as he was shoulder blocked to the outside. This is absolute mayhem, and it appears that these individuals have decided who they are going to square off with Evans basically trying to prove a point going up against the godfather of hardcore in Dake Ken. There can only be one Mr. Hardcore, apparently. And Bryan Christopher. Ooh! Bryan Christopher. Christopher Bryan. Sorry about that. Rest in peace, Bryan Christopher. Apologize. Apologize for that. And now, Dangerous Man appears to be in control of Christopher Bryan. And, back and forth. Dre, tell us a little bit more about the style of Dangerous Man here. What could he be using against one Christopher Bryan? What can put him to the advantage?
Well, from matches that I've seen from him from previous years,
wait a minute.
Down and dirty style.
Powerbomb! And that is the first fall. Mr. Hardcore Bryan Evans has scored the first fall against Dake Ken. Apologies for interrupting, Trey. Tell us a little bit more about that Dangerous Man.
Not a problem at all. So Dangerous Man is definitely a ground-based wrestler, doesn't use a lot of high flying, might stick to dirty tactics if things aren't going his way, but definitely a tough competitor right now. He's getting the business right now from Christopher, but at the end of the day, Dangerous Man definitely fits to his name, and he is very dangerous. You might see him down, but he won't be down for very long. Dangerous man, definitely a tough competitor.
And as we see, Dake is prone, and he has taken multiple knee shots to the spine, followed by a reverse DDT, and Bryan Evans is putting the boots to Dake. And Christopher Bryan, wait a minute, Dangerous Man back in control, Irish whip by Dake, and oh, a whippersnapper across the top rope, disorienting Bryan Evans, but wait, back in the ring, monster powerbomb! The strength of Dangerous Man to lift up an opponent the size of Christopher Bryan, and there is wood everywhere, wood and metal littering the ring. Normally in a match like this, Dake would be looking for that ever opportunist pinfall, but this is a tables match, and there is no way to achieve victory that way. And DDT by Dake. And look at this fight between Dake and Bryan Evans, back and forth at the table. What do you guys think of this slugfest in the corner right now?
I mean, this match is going down.
And we have got big Christopher Bryan, and look, the technique. Who says that hardcore wrestlers don't know any technique? These switches that they are going back and forth with Evans and Kidd is laying things out. And things are about to break down here. We've got big, and a power buckle bomb! And good God, Bryan Evans with the victory! Bryan Evans!
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, congratulations. Oh my goodness. What a match that we just witnessed, guys. Oh my goodness.
Tables flying everywhere. And Dake cannot be happy. He took 2 L's from Mr. Hardcore Bryan Evans. I gotta say that me knowing this man personally is not going to be very, very happy. But kudos to everyone in this opening match, setting the tone for when worlds collide. And there he is, Bryan Evans, Mr. Hardcore. And you can see more from Bryan Evans at Pro Wrestling Revolution and United Wrestling Alliance.